Hello, fellow human! Welcome back to another Dank Doggo / relationships videos. Have you ever gone through a difficult breakup before? Or you just don't care about romantic life at all? On to the first story. How do I, 28 female, break up with someone when I'm their 31 male everything? We've been together for 10 years. Through it all, I finished my degree, found a good job because I'm financially stable, and he came along for the ride. He has suffered pitfalls through the years that have definitely hindered his development. Mental illness, family issues, job instability, etc. But I've reached a point where I want to move on in life and he is in a place where he can progress with me. I've waited 10 years for him to get his crap together, finish a degree or trade program, and just become an adult with me, but in so many ways, he's still the 21 years old I met years ago. I am tired. I know I want to end things, I need to, but he still loves me deeply. And he's told me before that I'm the only good thing in his life. How do I split our lives when he still considers me his world? So, my question is, long-term boyfriend still in love with me and codependent, how do I end things without completely devastating him? This is the most terrifying thing I've done to date. But knowing that it is okay to be the bad guy and how to start the process has given me confidence to move forward. Straight to it. I broke up with him a day after I made my original post a few months ago. I came home from work and blurted out straight and to the point. I told him that I wasn't happy and I hadn't been for a while, and that we would be separating. We agreed that he could stay in the extra bedroom for a few months while we got everything sorted, but when the lease was up, we would be going our separate ways. The last few months have been hard. He went into full-blown panic mode and promised to change in the ways I had waited for years, and had several actual meltdowns begging me to stay. It was painful, but my resolve to live with my own life never wavered. I just signed a new lease by myself and have begun to casually date someone in the same field as me. Life has an excitement to it that I haven't felt in years. It's like I've taken my first deep breath in a long time. So, if you're on the fence about leaving someone but your lives are so enmeshed that you don't see how it is possible, put yourself first, there's always a way out. Thank you. TLDR, I broke up with my codependent boyfriend and I'm the happiest I've been in years. Well, we did or will break up with someone that think of us as their everything at some point in life. It's a tough call, but it had to be done. We have here the second story by u/Georgia Apple. My 27 female boyfriend's 27 male old crush returning after a few years away. I was worried that he would leave me for her. Sadly, I was right. My boyfriend of 2 years, Harry, is really close with this girl, Rena. Okay, so Harry's a catch. Good looking, smart, funny, really sweet, outgoing, all of that. Rena is the exact same. They both are loved by honestly everyone they meet. Harry used to say that Rena was basically the female version of me. I was friends with Harry before we started dating and knew Rena but never talked to her. Harry made it really obvious that he liked Rena. He said that he was basically just waiting for her to say yes to him so they could date. He would go on and on about how pretty, smart, funny, interesting, etc. she is. Rena rejected him but always jokingly and made it seem like one day we'll be together, but not now. Even their families wanted them together, but Rena wasn't interested because she thought Harry was too good of a friend to risk losing, in case the relationship went bad. We all live in the area, and 2 years ago, Rena moved from our area to the other side of the country for work. She had a going-away party that I was invited to. The whole time, Rena and Harry were attached at the hip and acted like a couple even though they weren't. Then, Rena moved across the country. Me and Harry didn't become a couple until a few months after Rena left. We started talking and had a ton in common, so we started dating. We've been together for a year and a half and things are really good with us. Monday, I was at Harry's place when he told me that Rena just called him and said that she's coming back home soon and want to meet up with him. My heart dropped. He seemed excited to see her again and said he missed her. I've been feeling honest to God anxiety for the past few days. Harry had the biggest crush on this girl and she's prettier, smarter, funnier, and more interesting, etc. than me. When she comes back, what if she decides she wants Harry for herself? How would Harry react if I said I didn't want them being friends anymore? I can tell that certain people in our group are interested to see what happens when Rena comes back because everyone knows their history. They kept in touch while she was gone, but Harris has been a really good boyfriend and treated me well, so I thought it was fine. I feel really nervous right now and don't know how to handle things. Fast forward, he ended up breaking up with me about a month after she came back and got back with her. It's been 2 years since all this happened, and I heard through the grapevine they got engaged last weekend. I've moved on and it's alright, but my heart breaks when I think of how insecure and self-conscious I felt when all this went down. I know I will eventually find a guy who I won't even have any worries about. Until then, I'm chilling. TLDR, I was right to be worried. Well, this story is a tough one because the boyfriend practically didn't cheat on OP, but yeah, dumping her to engage with someone else feels pretty crappy. Next up, we have the third story. My best friend, 20 male, asked me 20 male out. I said yes. I didn't know it was a date. I'm an idiot. I'll try to keep this short. Also, I was a bit drunk when this happened. Noah and I have been best friends since the 2nd grade. We lived together with one other friend near the college we go together. He came out to me when we were in high school. It didn't change anything. When we got to college, I came out as bisexual. Last night we were hanging out with some friends and I had a bit to drink. When we were walking home, I could tell he was nervous, so I asked what was up. He asked that if I wanted to go out with him. He literally said, "Do you want to go out with me?" I don't know why, but I thought he meant us friends. Thinking back, he made it really obvious it was a date, but I'm an idiot, and I was still a bit drunk, and I said yes. He suggested the Saturday night. I said yes. I left to go to the gym before he got up, so I didn't see him. While I was at the gym, the friend we lived with texted me that Noah was really happy this morning, and she didn't know we were going to go on a date. She congratulated me and said we make a cute couple. This happened literally 6 minutes ago. I'm panicking right now. I don't know what to do. I love him, but he's like my brother. I can't go out with him. How can I tell him I'm not interested without embarrassing him more than I have to? I don't want to mess up our relationship. We're supposed to have lunch together in a few hours. What do I do? Well, later on, I texted Noah and asked if we could skip lunch and go home instead so we could talk. I tried not to make the conversation dramatic. I apologized to him for misunderstanding him. I told him I knew it must have taken a lot of courage for him to ask me out. I told him that he was my best friend and I love him and that would never change. But I had never thought about a romantic relationship with him. I apologized for screwing up and getting his hopes up. He asked a few questions like, did I really not know he meant it as a date? He apologized for screwing things up between us, but I told him that I wasn't uncomfortable with him feeling that way about me. I told that I understood and if he wanted space to process it, I would give it to him if he wanted. But I also told him how important he is to me and how much I love him. He said he didn't think he wanted space, he just wanted to try to move on with the secret out. We've always been totally open with each other, well except for him liking me I guess. And he said he was happy he wasn't keeping his feelings a secret anymore. We had a cheesy moment where I told him that he could always talk to me about everything. It was like straight out of a rom-com. We talked for a long time after that. Apparently, he's had a crush on me since before he came out in high school, and after he had a few drinks last night, he decided, screw it, why not try? By the time he had to leave for his class this afternoon, things felt normal. I don't feel weird knowing about his crush, and he doesn't seem to feel hurt or anything because of my duck up. Maybe just a little sad. I'll definitely keep an eye on how we interact and how he acts for a while. A few people warned me against accidentally flirting with him. I will try to keep anything like that in check. So, fast forward 3 months later, Noah is doing really well. I could tell that he was a bit embarrassed for the first couple of weeks, but after that, he told me again that he was still happy he asked me. Because now he know how I felt, he could get over it. He also thanked me for taking it so well. Well, yeah, we used to hug a lot, sit really close together, and tell each other flirty jokes, you get the idea. But I toned those all down a lot to give him space and not mess with his feelings. I honestly think I see now why he thought I might be into him, because my relationship with him was very affectionate. It's been a lesson for me on how to be more aware of the other people are interpreting my signals. About a month after he asked me out, he asked me if I wanted to go to a homosexual bar with him. He made it super clear that it wasn't a date, but he did it in a really sarcastic way, which was a little embarrassing for me. But also I think it was good that he could joke about it. So, we went to a local homosexual bar together, and we had a really good time. He's a bit introverted, so I played the wingman, and he ended up flirting with this really cute guy, and he just seemed really happy. That was like 2 months ago, and we have gone to the same bar a couple of more times since then. He's been getting a bit more comfortable putting himself out there, which is really cool to see. And he's just been more open and happy for the last 2 months, always smiling and eager to go to do stuff. Not sure how it's related, but it's noticeable change from before he asked me out. I'm doing great too. I'm just really happy that I didn't hurt our relationship and that he's so happy. I also learned some important things about this whole situation, about communication and being aware of how I present myself. Important lessons. I actually think that I feel more confident now too, since he asked me out. Getting asked out feels good, man. It sounds kind of weird, but I think it made us closer somehow. We have started talking about relationships more, which isn't something we really talked about before. He's gone on a few dates and he tells me about them. And the most recent guy he went out with, he was really excited about. And I think he might be headed for his first serious relationship, which is amazing. TLDR, so yeah, our relationship wasn't ruined and I still have my best friend. He's doing really well and I love seeing him so happy. Well, you both do it so well. I guess 2 grown men are different from young boys after all. Moving on to the 4th story shared by you/boyfriend best friend X. My 25 female boyfriend, 26 male of 10 months, is best friends with his ex, 20-something female, refuses to meet me and it's getting weird. Backstory: my boyfriend is best friend/business partner with his ex. She has done a number of weird things to avoid meeting me and I'm so sick of it that I'm considering breaking up with him. For a few months after I wrote my original post, nothing much happened. Jeff and I continued dating and he continued being friends and partners with Jenna. I never met with her, but everything else in our relationship seemed to be going really well. So I decided to try to deal with it. Things got really hard, however, when I had to take a work contract 12 hours away from home for 3 months. I hardly saw Jeff the whole time, and I look at Jenna's Instagram almost every day to see if she's posted more photos of them together. More often than not, she had. Since I wasn't physically present, I felt like Jenna was his real girlfriend. I felt completely worthless and constantly stressed out, knowing that my boyfriend was spending all his time with another woman who I already had suspicions about. While I was away for work, I decided to break up with Jeff. I broke up with him as soon as I came back and I made it very clear that his relationship with Jenna was intolerable for me. I told him that he was going to have a hard time dating anyone who wasn't her, as long as she was still in his life. He kept saying that he didn't understand why it was such a problem. He told me that he couldn't control her behavior, but he promised me he hadn't cheated on me. I explained to him that by allowing their friendship to continue, he was condoning her behavior. I told him that I didn't really even care if he would physically cheat it or not, since he would already shown disrespect for me and our relationship. I didn't speak to him for a few months and I went on with my life. I took another contract out of town and even considered moving permanently to another city. One night though, Jeff called me and apologized. He said he had been thinking about our relationship a lot and realized that he had been in the wrong. He said his relationship with Jenna was beginning to feel toxic to him and he would make arrangements to dissolve their business partnership. After that, I decided to meet up with him, not necessarily to give him another chance and discuss the situation further. When we met up, he promised to stop talking to Jenna and I unfollowed her on all the social media. As of now, he has not spoken to her in 6 months and we have gotten back together. We actually ran into her at a concert a few weeks ago and they didn't even say hi to each other. I feel much more respected and confident in my relationship now. TLDR, I broke up with my boyfriend. He ended up his friendship and partnership with his ex and we have gotten back together. Well, yeah, guys, sometimes you just have to choose and can't have it both ways. For you, maybe it is normal to keep the relationship with your ex tight, but put yourself in your partner's shoes. How would they feel? The final story is shared by you/liveplum. My 18 female friend, 18 male, held my hand today when we were walking home. I liked it a lot, and I told him that, but he's been ignoring me for a whole day. Did I scare him off? I've known my friend since high school. We go to the same university and we live close by, so we walk home together every day. Today, out of nowhere, he held my hand. He's a really shy person, so this was completely unexpected. He looked nervous, so I said that his warm hands felt nice on a cold day. He didn't expect me to reciprocate, and we just walked the rest of the way home in awkward silence. I realized how nice it felt to hold his hands and how much I wanted to date him, so I sent this message to him shortly after arriving home. I really liked it when you held my hand today, and I want to talk about it. It's been a few hours and he hasn't replied back. I'm not the type of person that expects an instant reply, but he left me on the read, and he usually gets back to me immediately. We were also supposed to play League of Legends today, but he wouldn't get on his Discord or reply to any of my mentions. So, what's happening here? Did I scare him away? Am I being really annoying by messaging him? Help! Well, from a guy's perspective, I'd say that if he made a move by holding your hand, he's into you, that's for sure. But if he's anything like me, he must have panicked when things went well. He's probably trying to collect his thoughts, so try to give him some space. So don't stress him, he's just shy. Give him some space, not because of anything you did, but because he probably has 100 times the crazy thoughts you're having. Based on the info you're provided, assuming he's really shy, he's probably feeling a rush of emotions and trying to figure out what to do next. That's it for today, fellow humans. Thanks for watching. Be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. See you guys next time.